What is going on, guys? This is Dano, aka CobraConcept, and you are listening to the Loggers and Loot podcast, a direct sequel to the Brews and the Boys podcast. For those out there wondering what's going on, well, nothing ever bad happened. We just kind of switched gears a little bit, and I'm going to continue on with a little podcasting and hopefully try out some new brews as well as give you some breakdown on a few different things. So, without further ado, we're going to start this thing out just like we usually do. We're going to test out a new brew, and I'll give you the rating at the end of the podcast. But I'm sorry to say, I did not stick with a lager, even though I totally named this the Loggers and Loot podcast. Well, we're starting out with the brown ale. And today's agenda is an Abita Brewing limited series vanilla triple dog imperial brown ale. And I'll hold this up to the camera, show off this sweet little bottle. I couldn't find it in the can, so I went with the bottle. It looks really good. Very nice looking bottle. It says on the back that it is a velvety ale brewed with a generous amount of pale caramel and chocolate malts. So I'm excited to give this one a try. And here we go. Cheers. Oh, man, it's not even oh, no. So sorry, guys. I had to grab my bottle opener because I totally thought it was a twist top. All right. So here we go. Smell is very brown ale-esque. Nothing too different there. It does give a little hint of caramel. It does give a little hint. And here goes for the initial taste test. Okay. Okay, that's pretty solid. I'll have to give you my final rating at the end of the podcast episode. For those who are new to this, the way myself and Garrett, aka Desperate Saint, used to do it, we tried in the beginning of the podcast, and at the end of the podcast, we give you our final review, our final rating, and I'll kind of go into more depth about it as I drink it throughout the podcast. So, today's episode is about the CobraConcept versus Desperate Saint tournament round 2. Back in 2022, myself and Garrett put on a tournament where we played, I think there were 7 different games. And each game we competed with a different lineup of different players, and we tried to get as many wins as possible. At the end of the day, Garrett did win that. He took away the victory. However, this time around, we did something different. We broke it down to 2 games that I was good at, 2 games he was good at, and we chose a game that neither of us really had experience in. So that's what we did. And I'm proud to say that this time around, I took the victory. Won 4 of the 5 games, with 2 of them being incredibly close. Very, very nail biters there. But it was a time well had. So what I did for today's episode is I actually asked ChatGPT to create me a scenario, a breakdown, a recap, this really cool series of questions and comments and acknowledgments throughout the entire game VOD. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, not a single one of them is super good, but they're hilarious. So that's the premise of today's episode. I had to break down what ChatGPT took from my YouTube video and thought was the most important parts. So, without further ado, let's hop straight into it. The very first game we hopped into was Valorant. Now, let's see. My team was myself, level 21 Rug Dealer, Captain Colorado, Mindy, and Crit. And then Saints team was Desperate Saint, Lardalicious, Sal, The Inferno, and Arson. Now, I will say we got lucky with the whole playing the defensive side first, because if we did not play the defensive side first, I think it would have been a whole lot harder to hold our ground. But starting at the very beginning, the pre-match hype, and this is all ChatGPT. Cobra hypes up the tournament. He also tries to fix his camera disappearing issue whenever Valorant launches, which is true. Every time that I pulled up Valorant, my camera was disappearing. I don't know what was going on, but ChatGPT thought that was important. In the pre-match hype, we have Saints team is unsecure about their lineup, but they're hoping for some clutch plays. I don't think anybody was unsure about their lineup. I think they had a solid team. So that was hilarious. It talks about the map selection, about how Icebox and Haven were quote unquote banned. We did not ban any maps, but we did choose to not use those maps, being the fact that we played them in the last Cobra versus Saint tournament. We ended up picking Split, and then we discussed whether or not we should keep the op, which is the sniper, and we kept it. We did not ban the op. So, let's see. Match breakdown. Early rounds. Cobra's team takes over. Cobra's team makes a 5-0 opening. And ChatGPT says that mid control is key. Saints team struggles to enter the sites. And then, and then it says Lardalicious dies 3 rounds back to back within seconds. And it lists a timestamp. I'm so sorry, Lard. ChatGPT was coming for you. Oh, and then it shows in then it shows on round 6 where Crit clutches a 1v3 at B site, which was a very, very clutch play. Crit, great play out there, man. Also, another thing that ChatGPT kind of put out of place, they said Mindy breaks it down for chat, which I assume was when he was quite literally trying to dance and like twerk with his character. I'm pretty sure that's what ChatGPT labels as Mindy breaking it down for chat, but I could be wrong on that. Oh, then Cobra panic kills 2 in round 3, and then in round 2, and then 2 in round 4 as they rotated through mid. I liked how it threw me under the bus and said that I panic killed them. Like, they couldn't just give me the benefit of the doubt. Hey, Cobra got 2 kills in round 3. No. Cobra panicked, managed to get this kill. Thanks, ChatGPT. Then we get into the mid-game synopsis. Saints team tries to recover. Saints team finally wins a round. Ouch. Again, this thing is just, it's coming for blood. Level 21 Run Dealer hits a crazy flick headshot at mid at timestamp 3010. We'll have to check that, see if that's for real. The trash talk begins. Cobra says, quote unquote, they ain't got no smokes. This is free. I swear that I never once uttered a single word in that sentence. But that is, what a line. They ain't got no smokes. This is free. I might have to start saying it now, honestly. So, Saints team actually win a 2v2 at A site, and they start to gain a little momentum. And then from then on out, the rounds started becoming a little more closer. ChatGPT actually starts showing that they were actually consistently getting more kills on us, and in the second half they started to make plays for towards each round. And let's see, second half, Cobra's team closes it out, but Saints team takes 4 straight rounds to make it 10-6. A mind-blowing op play from Crit at Heaven. I'm here to tell you, Crit, I don't know what you did, but ChatGPT is all about you. It just is like, it can say no better thing. The final round, Minnie gets a a surprise flank and takes out 3. I don't I don't know if Mindy took out 3 in the final round. I know he took out the final kill. Um, so I'm not sure where ChatGPT got that from. But regardless, the final score, Cobra's team wins 13-6. Saints 4 rounds made it 11-5, and then we had to get the last 2 to win it. So altogether, a close round. 13-6 does not replicate how close some of those rounds actually were. Like they were clutch pulls, and so that was the first of the 5 games. That win goes to me, and then we moved on to the second game, which was, and let me wet my whistle, Rocket League. So, Rocket League was Cobra's team, Cobra, Tez for Brewski, and Butu. And on Saints' team, ChatGPT literally lists off Saints plus 2 champ ranked players, which I went back. It's Redhead and Zach. Shout out to you all. Thanks for playing. But I liked how ChatGPT did not even mention their names, did not even try to give them their names, just said 2 champ ranked players. All right, so game 1. Cobra's team starts off rough with a 0-2 deficit. Mid-game adjustments as Brucey takes over as the main striker. Shout out Tez for Brucey taking over as the main striker. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Zach and Redhead both got goals on Saints' team. So I think they were 1-1, and so that's where that was taken over at. Let's see. Clutch moments. Boo gets a crazy demo plus goal sequence. Shout out Butu for demoing and getting the goal. Solid work. The next clutch moment, according to ChatGPT, is that Butu is called Stinky mid-game. I'm pretty sure Lardalicious called Butu Stinky in chat, and I don't know how ChatGPT decided to put that in there, but hey, oh well. Cobra gets a lucky backflip goal by accident. Ouch. And truth be told, I don't even think I scored that second goal, so I don't know where that one came from. And then Brucey scores the game winner with 12 seconds left. Final score was 3-2. Now, I had to go back because that didn't sound incredibly accurate. The second goal, Boo set Brucey up. And then the overtime goal was made by Brucey yet again, but it was set up by myself, where I took the ball, won the 50-50 in the corner, and then basically knocked it straight over the goal, and Brucey finished it off. So nice play right there. A very close first game of Rocket League at 3-2. I remember thinking, oh man, this is going to be a little closer than I ever thought it was going to be, because I thought Rocket League was going to be our clear winner. And with them being so close on game 1, it scared me. It scared me big. So moving on into game 2. It says ChatGPT says that there were more back and forth action buzzer beater moments, and Boo gets a double touch goal off the crossbar. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Butu did get a shot at the goal, and I'm pretty sure it did go off the crossbar and off the sidebar as well. and I think it was going to go in, and I I finished it off just to make sure that it actually went in. But I mean, Butu had it. He didn't need me to put it in the goal. He had it. So the final score, it says, oh yeah, okay. No, I misread that. The final score was 1-0, and so in the series it was a 2-0 win. So Valorant was a best of one, whoever wins kind of thing. Rocket League was actually a best of three. So we got the first game, we got the second game, we ended up winning Rocket League as a whole. So that was a clutch moment. I was hopeful for Valorant. I was confident for Rocket League. So that definitely put us in the right steps, definitely in the right direction. 2-0 lead on Desperate Saint. But here's where here's where things completely change on me. So our third game was actually Marvel Rivals. And if you've seen Desperate Saint on stream, you know that man plays the heck out of Marvel Rivals. And, sadly, I haven't played it near as much. It is enjoyable. I love it. I want some more people to play with. If you guys are trying to find somebody to play with, hook me up. Let me know you're trying to play. I'd love to come join y'all. But let me tell you how ChatGPT absolutely roasted me on the Marvel Rivals section of its recap. It says Cobra's team, Cobra, Red Ice, Noob Master Nate, Captain Colorado, and the Bob Bot. Saints team, quote unquote, Saint Boo, but spelled like Majin Buu instead of BOO. And then it says, and 3 Grandmasters. so it was Saints, Casper Cans, Boo, Cranarch, Cansteria, and Datum. But I just like how it says, and 3 Grandmasters. Just, did not even care to list everybody off. Just, they're good. And that's all that matters is pretty much what ChatGPT wanted to say. So here's where the absolute roast session begins. Game 1, and it puts in all caps, absolute annihilation. Saints team moves the payload uncontested. And I mean, heartbroken at this point. I'm reading this line like, oh my God, like, I really was that bad? No, and then it goes, Boo's Psylocke was unstoppable in all caps. Says Cobra's team doesn't even reach overtime. And I mean, like, my heart is sinking at this point. Like, we've done well. And the Marvel Rivals, I knew we probably weren't going to win because they just had some great people on their team. But then ChatGPT comes in here and just ruins my day. Oh my gosh. So, and that's just game 1. We decided to do best of 3, which maybe maybe next time I do one game. One game of absolute annihilation. So that was quite literally all the notes it had for game 1, and then it goes straight into game 2. Cobra's team tries a new strategy, and in all caps, it fails. Like, come on, man. Give me something, ChatGPT, please. Oh, and then it goes, Saints team finishes in record time, all caps. Like, ChatGPT has something to prove right now, and it is proving it. The final score, Saints team wins 2-0. And are you ready for this? This is the biggest nail in the coffin. Saints team wins 2-0 in under 20 minutes. I mean, great plays by them, but my confidence in Marvel Rivals is absolutely shattered. Like, I don't know if I can come back to this game in a tournament fashion again. Wow. Also, also it gives me a funny moment to talk about after it absolutely roasts me, and it says you should talk about how you were the healer, and it talks about how at the last chat message right before the game ends and everybody goes their separate ways, I was the healer, and I typed in chat, GG no heals. I was the healer. I was the one who was not healing people. So, but man, I tell you what, the under 20 minutes, that was wow. That's a heartbreak right there. So, you know, that's the 2-1 in the series right now. We've got Valorant and Rocket League over, and then now Marvel Rivals. Saint easily took that. And it was a lot of fun. I have to admit, even though we were stomped in Marvel Rivals, we had some good plays. It was fun. You know, so far in all of these games, we've been quote unquote a little toxic. Just like oh hey, we're gonna win. Oh hey, this or that. But genuinely, it was all good fun, and I enjoyed all of the funny trash talk. But it was, I mean, ChatGPT did not have to do me dirty like that. So, since we finished Marvel Rivals so early, we actually kind of had to kill a little time because we were not quite ready for our fourth game, and we definitely weren't going to be ready for our fifth game because we had planned. We started about 1 o'clock, and the idea was we were going to go from 1 o'clock to like almost 5 o'clock, and by this time it's like I don't know, like 3:30. And once we finished our fourth game, which is Party Animals, which was going to be super quick, we were going to be ahead of the curve for game five by over an hour. So we kind of killed a little bit of time. We kind of sat around, we chit chatted. I actually, a fun story here. I actually had a few gifted subs to me, and I said, you know what? I've been saving this. This is going to be a perfect time for it. And I pulled up my sleeve and did an arm tattoo, like a full arm tattoo, temporary, obviously, that I had gotten off of Amazon. And it was silly. It had nothing on it that was anything worth putting on your body, but it was hilarious. I think there was it the wolf? I'm asking my wife real quick. What was the tattoo? Was it a wolf? We did the wolf with like a blue butterfly. Oh, it was like a girl. There's a blue butterfly and another blue something on it. It was interesting, and we had a big ball. We just joked around. We ended up playing the Party Animals game of Uno to kill some more time. And then after we got done with all of that, we started our fourth and final game. Or sorry, our fourth and then our fifth final game. So our fourth game, yes, was Party Animals, and my team was myself, Tez Fabrewski, and Hambone. And then Saint's team was himself, Red Ice, and Bucci Boy. And you might notice a few names that were, used for prior games. We ended up having to fill in a few people. Some people were not able to make it, or we might have been missing a few people. So all good fun. It wasn't too serious. So we were cool with people just hopping in. So we hop into the action of Party Animals. And if you're not familiar with that, it is quite literally like ragdoll animals punching each other. And it is one of the silliest, funniest games I've ever played. And like the premise of it is to just quite literally knock your opponents out of the ring or until they're knocked unconscious. And it is, again, if you have not played it, play it. It is so funny. So, key funny moments according to ChatGPT. Andrew wins a round by getting ragdolled into the goal. I'm not really sure if that happened because there was no goal. But there was a really funny moment in that first round, which I'm assuming it's talking about. So in our first round, I'm pretty sure it's 1-0, and there's like I think you go to 3 in each round. So I'm pretty sure it's like 1-0 at this time. Hambone hits somebody. I end up grabbing them. We both fall off the corner. And as I'm climbing up the wall, Hambone throws a boomerang, and it like goes around the map a little bit and comes back and knocks himself out. And I mean, all of us, my team, Saints team, rolling, absolutely laughing our butts off because it was the funniest thing that had happened in that game yet. And it's you just got to understand that this game is just so goofy, so silly, and with things like that, you're bound to just sit there and laugh forever. So I'm assuming that's what ChatGPT was talking about. And then the next one says Saints team pushes Cobra off the ledge in the final round. Um, Probably pretty accurate. I'm not really sure which part it was talking about, but yes, I think that first round was 3-1. And I definitely got worked. Um, I think it was up to Hambone and Feldabucci for keeping us in there, but I got worked for sure. And then in the second round, so the first one we won 3-1. In the second one, we actually won 3-1 as well. Um, However, I will say Saints team they were ready to win that second game. And it says ChatGPT says, quote unquote, Bucci boy is dangerous with a taser. Facts. I mean, I could not get up on that submarine because Bucci boy literally spawned me. Was sitting there with a taser, and just every time I started to climb, he'd shoot me with the taser. Every time. So, Adam, I love you, but you suck. So that was it for the party animals. And technically, this puts me up 3-1 on Desperate Saints. So that would mean a win for me. However, we're still going to play the fifth and final game, regardless of who wins. So at this point, I had one, but we still had to get into League of Legends. And I mean, this was the game that myself and Garrett both had absolutely like no experience in. I think Saint had a few levels on me, but only because he played it like maybe 2 years ago, and I was starting level 1, and I mean, they told me what to do and I did it kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like it was tough. League of Legends is not for the faint of heart. But hey, I kept telling my teammates I had seen Arcane, so I pretty much knew what I was doing. Just kidding. But if you have not seen Arcane, quick little plug here, check that out. It is so good. Wild, wild show. And I mean, like, I was so ready to play League of Legends after watching Arcane. Thank God I have a buddy that kept telling me you do not need to play League of Legends. So, League of Legends. Cobra's team was myself, my buddy Ethan, Dev, and Cody. Dev and Cody, thank you again for playing. That was a lot of fun. I did promise I will play with y'all, and I will play with y'all again. And Saint's team was Saint, Story, Lardalicious, and level 21 Rud Dealer. Shout out to Lard and Rud Dealer for picking up League and playing with us, because I know that is not one of your all's first games, but you all did a wonderful job, and thank you again for hopping in on that. So some of the game highlights that ChatGPT hits us with right off the bat is that First Blood Saints team gets an early pick, and I totally got smoked. I bit off more than I could chew, and Garrett put it to me. So we had this planned where we kept saying, if Garrett's not on the lane that I'm on, I should go to that lane and just play it like that, you know. And it just so happened that when I went to the top lane, Garrett went to the top lane too. So we were like, "Oh yes, perfect. This is how it works." and actually, let me backtrack a little bit. We also had to pick characters, and we had to ban, and we had to do stuff like that. And I don't have the slightest knowledge on characters and League of Legends or anything like that. So what was interesting to me is that somehow, since I was the first person in that lobby, I was the one who had to pick people and ban people and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm pretty sure we didn't ban two people, and I didn't get the character I wanted to play as, and like it was all a cluster. And if we could go back and do it all again, I would have 1,000% been somebody else and actually banned people because I blew it there. I didn't know what I was doing. So anyways, we get back to this. First Blood Saint picked me off. Then ChatGPT begins to roast me a little bit more and says Cobra gets lost in the jungle, completely missing a fight. I I wish I could say that ChatGPT misunderstood that, but sadly, that's probably one of the most accurate things it said yet. I 1,000% missed that fight, and I don't know how I did it. I really don't. All right. And then it hits us with the biggest play, a massive Baron steal by Team Cobra. And to be completely honest with you, I don't even know if I can fact check that because I don't even know what Baron is. So, for my League of Legends players out there, I am so sorry. I totally just hurt a lot of feelings just now, and and I'm so sorry. Oh man. So then it hits us with the final fight. Team Cobra wipes Saints team, securing the win. And the final score was that Team Cobra wins. I'm going to be honest with you. There was not much wiping by anybody with the name of Cobra. There was a lot of wiping with all of Cobra's teammates. Myself, on the other hand, didn't know what the heck was going on. And I'm pretty sure I was like, what was I? I was 2-10 with 7 assists. So I had 2 kills the entire game. Shout out to Dev, 11-1 and 11, Ethan, 9-2 and 12, and Cody with a staggering 15-2 and 11. And I would like to say that my absolute favorite moments of League of Legends was 100% the get down, Mr. President. So I don't do well surviving. And so Dev and Ethan and Cody decided that they were gonna treat me as Mr. President and try to keep me alive the entire time. And sadly, the 3 times that they did that, I still died, mainly because of user error. They did great. I didn't know. I don't know. Apparently Ethan went back and watched videos. He was like, "Man, you didn't use your ultimate. You didn't use this. You should have healed." I'm like, "I didn't know." But anyways, it was League of Legends was fun. If I knew a little bit more of what was going on, I think it would have been more fun. So again, shout out to everybody that was playing because this was such a fun little tournament, and it gets so many people involved, and it gets I don't know. It's one of those competitive yet fun things. Like, you want to win, but the basis of it is just to be silly and fun. So, you know. And then so ChatGPT also gives me a few discussion points and some funniest moments and some big pictures. And so I'll hit those real quick before I finalize all of the tournament. It hits me with the podcast discussion points, performance and strategies. So what strategies worked in Valorant? Apparently giving crit the op and letting him do his work. Apparently, that was the strategy for Valorant. Was Rocket League the closest game of the night? Honestly, yes. Rocket League 100% was the closest game. It was it's so funny because the past two tournaments that we've done Rocket League's been close every time. I know Saint will say, "Oh no, you had it in the bag, Rocket League, you were going to win." But I mean, it's been the closest games every time. Um could Cobra's team have done anything in Marvel Rivals? The question is, or the answer is no. ChatGPT already answered that for you. It was a slaughter fest. Oh, so what was some of the funniest moments? Okay. So, what was the most ridiculous moments? There were several contenders for the most ridiculous moments, and I had to really think about this one. There were, and I'm counting ridiculous as in like a funny, silly. That's where I'm going with ridiculous. I think the best funny, silly moment that made the ridiculousness was definitely Hambone hitting himself with the boomerang. That was so funny. And like it was one of those you had to be there moments. And I do have a clip. It is on the YouTube. Check it out. You can see Hambone hitting himself in the face with a boomerang. It is hysterical. Which uh which teammate had the worst luck? And then it says in parentheses, for example, Lard getting headshotted in Valorant. Lard, I am so sorry. ChatGPT wants to roast me, wants to roast you. It just wants to do nothing but brag up Crit and Butu. So Lord, you did have some rough luck in like 3 rounds in Valorant, and ChatGPT really wants to put it into play. But if you're looking for an absolute gaming unit, Lardalicious is a gaming unit. He getting headshot in Valorant is not something that Lardalicious would be used to, having done to him. He is the one who usually does stuff like that. So I do find that really funny that ChatGPT wanted to just hound him for that. So the big picture, what was the most fun game of the night? And these are all questions that ChatGPT gave me, and then little parentheses beside them. What was the most fun game of the night? Um, Honestly, I will have to say Valorant was pretty fun because I've been thinking about Valorant for about a week and a half straight. Should there be a rematch with new teams? 100%, 100%. So in 2022, we did the same thing with more games and obviously different games, and we had different people involved. And so this time around, we did different games, different people involved. If we were to do a rematch, yeah, 100%, we'll definitely do it with more people, with different games, stuff like that. I think there should be a rematch. You all let me know what you all think. Let's reach out to Desperate Saint and see if we can get something in the books. Should Marvel Rivals be banned? And then in parentheses, LOL. I mean, ChatGPT can't let it go. But yes, Marvel Rivals should 100% be banned. Okay, maybe not. I enjoyed it. So, all right. And so a little final remarks on the tournament, which was on March 22nd. Um, Special thank you to Desperate Saint for agreeing to indulge me on this event because I'm pretty sure I bugged him and bugged him and bugged him. But I think it was a ton of fun. I think everybody enjoyed it, and definitely worth doing again. Thank you, Captain Colorado, Butsu, Level 21 Rud Dealer, Lardalicious, The Bob Bot, Mindy, Crit, Sal, D Inferno, Arson, Felda, Hambone, Red Ice, Red Head, Zach, New Master Nate, Casper Cant, Cranark, Cansteria, Bucci Boy, Story, Edub, Cody, Dev, and more for participating in this event. not only for all of the participation, but we had all kinds of people in chat cheering people on. Lots of friendly banter between both teams. So it was definitely a lot of fun. Um, so if you did not see the tournament, you didn't know that the tournament was going on or anything like that, hey, it's okay. The whole VOD is still uploaded. You can quite literally watch the entire thing, which is actually, I think, like 6 hours long. I don't advise you to sit there and watch the entire VOD. I completely get it. It's a long, long haul. But hey, I have a recap out there. It's about an hour long, and it quite literally hits every single game during the tournament from my point of view. I would like to go back and download Saint's point of view and try to intermingle, just the Valorant game, just the Rocket League game, just the Marvel Rivals game, and, do stuff like that. So I'm going to have to get with him and see if he can download his VOD for me and send it to me. But that's kind of the idea I've got going for that. If you're not already following the YouTube, you can find it all over there. It's CobraConcept. And I think it's like @CobraConcept TV, I think. And I've got everything on there as far as gaming videos, recap videos, this Loggers and Loot podcast, as well as any live streams. And we even have a Dungeons and Dragons on there from about a year and a half ago. And I've actually been in talks with somebody about starting another D&D campaign. So if you're not already following me, go to CobraConcept.live, and I promise you, you can find anything and everything you want. You can find Twitch, you can find YouTube, you can find TikTok, you can find Spotify, you can find me on, let's see, what else we got? We've got the merch store, anything, really. So that's the premise of today's episode, was the Cobra versus Saint tournament. I guess if you have any recommendations for any upcoming episodes, please let me know. I've been in discussions, kind of trying to think of some ideas. Thought about trying to talk about a couple of movies that came out, because I want to kind of branch out and hit the movies and the TV show sections of podcasting, so to say. So I thought about trying to get a little lingo on the Minecraft movie that just dropped or something like that. Maybe talk about the Snow White and whether or not it was a failure or a hit, So if you've got any recommendations, bring them on. Please like this video, subscribe to any channels, follow anything. I'm here for it. But before we move on too far, I better stop and tell you about this vanilla triple dog brown ale by Abita Brewing. Here's the bottle yet again. If you're not tuned in on any video, you can see the video on YouTube. I know it's on Spotify and anything else right now, but you can also tune in on YouTube. If you're not familiar with Abita Brewing actually does a beer that I really like called Purple Haze. And if you have not had Purple Haze, well worth trying. Well worth trying. So this vanilla triple dog has a little bit of pale caramel and chocolate malts in it. Let me do another taste here. I think oh, and holy smokes, it's an 8%. I did not know it was an 8% before I started drinking it. I'll say this: there is a lot of creamy flavor in this. You can definitely pick up on the notes of caramel. Um, Not too caramelly of a taste. It's like the creaminess of caramel, but more of a chocolatey flavor. And it's not like a chocolate stout. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. It's more so of, I'm trying to think of a comparison here. Um, shoot, I don't know. I don't know how to compare this to something. It's good. It's good. I would recommend this. I would give this to somebody. Would I put it in my top 10? No. I'm going to put this at like a I'm going to put this at like a 8.1. And so for like the rating scales, I'll do similar to the Brews and the Boys. Anything below a 5, not crazy about. 6 through 8, yeah, yeah, I drank it. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. And then anything 9 and 10, yeah, that's a really good recommendation for me. So I'd give this like an 8.1. It's a solid brown ale, and I am a sucker for brown ale. I think the chocolate is a little too rich for me in a beer, but 100% worth trying, definitely. So, anyways, Abita Brewing, solid brown ale here. Thank you all again for tuning in today, and hopefully we'll get these episodes out in a bi-weekly basis if and I'm able to, I guess. Yeah. Um, but again, thank you all again for tuning in. Hop into the CobraConcept.live. Make sure you follow all the accounts. Make sure you follow Desperate Saint. And appreciate you all again. Thank you again. We'll see you on the next go around.